Hey, Cuzzo.
Hey, Cuzzo.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. Throwing up them W's.
Listen, how are you today?
I'm good. I learned a new, I don't know what we call these things. That this is bad to me with the vocabulary terms, but how we say Wednesday instead of Wednesday. And then at my job, we do Wellness Wednesday. I was in a meeting today with a vendor and she called it Wisdom Wednesday.
Ooh, we like Wisdom Wednesday.
I do. And then I turned around and borrowed it when I sent out my weekly email. And I was like, welcome to Wisdom Wednesday. Here are the things that you should know is going on. I
love it. Yes. Okay, look, we gotta make a whole list because one that I heard that I am now adopting on Wednesdays is Getting Your Word Girl Wednesday. I like her. I'm
writing that down.
We're going to write those down. We're going to use those. We're going to put those in rotation.
Yes.
I love it. But how are you? Listen, do you see, I just got out the shower, right? My hair, it's still dripping.
I was going to ask you, like, but then you told me what it was that you did. So I was like, yeah, because I was like, it looks flat. But anyway, hold up. We always do this every week. We get to tell people where they are. Welcome to the Hustler Show.
We are kind of used to you, so we assume you're used to us. Sorry about that, especially to our new gems and new gents checking us out for the first time. Welcome. We're so glad you're here. I'm the team of Cherie Queen Pen.
And I'm Tiffany Matthias, the one true Phoenix. And we are missing our third leg of the stool, Mel, the MV Pen, who is out today handling her business.
Yes. Self-care. We encourage it. So, yeah, she's taking care of herself so that when she does come back, she is just sharp and ready. Okay?
Yes. But we have a dope show for y'all tonight. As we stated last week, book number 5 for the Diamond Writers is being released on Tuesday, April 29th. The book is titled Audacity, Living Life in Color. Yeah. And so we are dedicating every episode of the Hustle and Shine podcast for the month of April to some form of audacity. And this week we're talking about that reckless audacity. Okay. People out here doing them and not caring about nothing. Y'all know when y'all go and tell somebody a story and you get to that part and they be like, and they had the audacity to. That's what we're talking about tonight.
So all of that energy, all of that energy, and they had the audacity. Yes, that's what we talk. But we talk about the reckless kind because some of it be good. We're gonna talk about the reckless, selfish, no consideration, no grace. Yeah, that's what we talk about tonight.
But in the meanwhile, right, as we prepare for the episode, y'all know what time it is. It is time for y'all to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Start tagging somebody who needs to be here. Share this live with those people. Let us know who is in the building, where you're from. Get ready to come through with the audacious stories because what we have planned for you tonight is you got to be here. You got to see it and hear it to believe it.
Exactly. Go ahead, Cuzzo.
I was just gonna say, should we get into the episode? Because we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, I just wanted to add to why it's important to be here live because this particular episode, you're gonna want to be all up in the comments when we start talking about things and just catching the replay. The comment energy don't be the same. The comment section don't be live and it don't be like thick in there. So try to watch it live, try to watch it and engage with us now. And if you have to catch the replay, so be it. But we really would like for you to be here now. So go ahead and tag some people. Tag some folks that are a bit reckless in their audacious behavior. Go ahead and tag them. Say, you need to hear this. You need to hear this. Get in here. This might be for them. Okay? Because I got a couple of people I would like to tag. But let's go ahead and jump in, Cuzzo.
Okay. So as y'all know, Queen Pen is from New York. I'm from New York. There is an incident that happened in New York.
From New York.
Yes. Madam Butterfly is from New York.
Not Mel.
She's from New York. You know what? So many diamonds are from New York. I'm about to join y'all in another state. I just don't know which one. Like this. Which ones are still blue? We're not talking politics tonight.
We're not.
Okay. So coming straight out of New York, there was an incident that made its way around the internet, and it involved a reporter on the street getting two-pieced by the person she was interviewing. And
that's not funny.
It's not funny at all. Okay. So for those of you who are not familiar, due to licensing and we don't want to get shut down or sued, we do not share other people's videos and imagery and everything like that. But if you go Google reporter gets punched in the face, it's going to be the first thing that comes up. All right. And so the reporter was doing one of these feet on the street live interviews, and she was interviewing a woman regarding pro-life and abortion. And apparently the interview had been going for about 20 minutes. And the reporter allegedly was mixing and baiting the person who she was interviewing. And at which point in time, after about 20 minutes, the woman had the audacity to 1-2 this reporter in the face. And the woman walked away, still cursing her out for what she was doing. Now, this happened over the weekend. The woman has since made a statement apologizing to the reporter and stating that she was wrong for attacking her and laying hands on her. However, in her defense, the woman was verbally antagonizing her. And so, yes, in hindsight, her thing is she should have walked away, but she didn't. And so now I'm sitting here thinking about the audacity of both of them.
Yep.
Okay. Because I don't know if y'all have really paid attention to these feet on the street reporters, particularly ones who have a particular agenda. They really do like to irk. And if you show like the slightest bit of weakness or something got to you, they start to needle it. Right. And they just keep going and they're going. And obviously, because it's everything is about a clickbait and getting your 15 seconds of fame. I don't think these are the ones that she wanted, either one of them. Did the woman really get what she was asking for? And what about the aftermath of all of this? They both had to live life after this punch in the face.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, so the first thing I want to do, because you know how we are about definitions, okay? I want to define for you what reckless audacity is. Because some of y'all are probably scratching your head like, why Natima or why the Queen Pen and why the Phoenix always making up words? We didn't make this up. This is a real term, right? Okay, so I'm about to read it for y'all. Hold on, give me a minute. All right. First of all, the term reckless audacity, believe it or not, started during COVID-19. And the deadly display of collective, they call it foolhardiness. I got to look that up. Okay. But that's where the term came from. That's where the term started. But it pretty much means boldness or daring, often reckless, magnified. In other words, it's recklessness that often comes from audacity anyway, but now it's magnified, which means you're doing the most. If I could put it in layman's terms, if I can put it in slang for us, pretty much what it means is not only are you bold and daring, but your recklessness and your boldness and your daring or audacious behavior is a little bit over the top. It's magnified. You're doing the most. And this is a perfect example of two people doing the most. For you, those of you who did not see the clip, I only saw it today. I probably watched it about 6 times because I like to watch it multiple times so I can picture myself on both sides. If I were the interviewer and I noticed the energy of the person being interviewed, if I noticed the shift in her energy, I would have eventually shut up, especially if you're not from New York. Because let me just listen real quick, okay? I got to pick on us New Yorkers. I am from Queens. So understand I have a little bit of privilege where I can say this. Bronx If you're from the Bronx, violence is your love language. I don't care what you say. You can argue with yourself. Okay. That is your birthright. You come out of the womb with a birth certificate and some type of violent, like, tenacity in you. Okay. You here for it. Okay. You got hands, you blessed with them, you come out the womb with them, right? So that's number one. She didn't realize who she was interviewing. This wasn't no Queens girl. This wasn't no Harlem girl. She was from the Bronx. Her hair,
and she wasn't a transplant.
And her hair said I'm from the Bronx, right? Because she had combed out her doobie, right? Anyway, the point of the matter is she didn't realize who she was interviewing. Now, I am not at all condoning her hitting her. The only laying on of hands that I ever agree with is in prayer when you're on the altar. I don't think any other time you lay hands is not okay with me. Even though I used to be that person, I'm no longer that person. However, I feel like her body language gave multiple signs that I'm about to knock you out. The way she postured her body several times in her response, she leaned in. If you ain't from New York, you're not going to know that lean in mean I'm about to swing in. Like, the lean in is going to lead to a swing. So that's number one. She did not pay attention to who she was interviewing. Secondly, looking at it from the perspective of the interviewer, she was being extremely sarcastic. She had a lot of jabs that she was throwing at the young lady. And I can see where she would feel antagonized, because I felt that. I was like, why is she doing this? If she doesn't like her comments in the interview and let someone else come over and speak to her, she continued in the conversation, which means this is what you wanted to do because you was hoping to go viral, like Fionix said. And now the world knows you because you took two to the face. Like, that's not good for your career or your reputation. Now, do I agree that it should have escalated to that? Heck no. We need to grow up. We can't put our hands on people because we don't agree. We cannot put our hands on people because we have conflicting views, even if you're passionate about what you're talking about. Clearly, this woman was adamant about her position on pro-life and abortion. I happen to side with her. I have full control over my agency. You shouldn't tell me what I can do with my body. However, if I find myself getting pissed off and angry, I'm going to go ahead and walk. I'm going to go ahead and walk off. There's a bodega right behind her. She could have went and got a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich. Instead, she chose there to keep entertaining her, and then she swung on her. And so that, like Fionix said, that's reckless audacity, because not only were you bold enough to position yourself to disagree with this woman for 20 minutes, but then you had the audacity to hit her. So now the world knows you as a female who hits people when you're angry, which means you can't handle a regular conversation with don't ever talk to a Trump supporter, because you'll be fighting all the time. Like, you'll literally get locked up. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say about that. That's all I want to say.
I mean, and you said a ton. And for me, all right, we about to put these professional hats on. If you are new here, the Fionix and the Queen Pen, when we are not writing and podcasting, we work in human resources and people operations. And let us tell you, going viral for punching someone in the face on the street is not a good look. It is not one at all. No. When I tell you that when you apply for a job, we are Googling you.
Yeah.
We're Googling you. And if we Google you and the first thing that comes up is this, there are so many times now where people have gone viral. We've gotten Karens and Kens who have gone viral for their audacious antics pertaining to who and who shouldn't look like they belong in a building or in a park or watching birds and all these other things here, that they have lost their jobs, right?
Yeah.
Take into consideration that when you want to go viral, you want to go viral for the right reason, because going viral for the wrong reason will cost you literally your income, your freedom. This woman can be arrested. If the reporter so chooses to press charges, she can be arrested for assault.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's like, did it feel good to punch her in the face? It probably did. There is this saying in my family about poking sleeping bears, and that usually means like there is something that is going on internally within people, and sometimes they are just looking for the release, right?
Yep.
So you can either be what can help a person smile and make it through the day, or you can actually be where they need to release that anger into. So you just never know what somebody is going through. I mean, truth be told, it could have been much worse than her getting punched in the face.
Yeah.
We got people in New York City getting pushed, shot, stabbed, all types of things, just minding their business, let alone antagonizing someone. So it's just so much to living reckless in your audaciousness that I challenge people to really question, like, is it worth it in the end, especially when it comes down to the paper, you know? So we have a lot of people in the comments that are coming in.
Let's go ahead and see who's in the building.
Let's see who's here and what they're saying.
Let's see. Hey, Taisha. She says, I love the new dudes, ladies. Appreciate this was not intentional. Tiffany's hair is cute and intentional. Mine was, I didn't have a lot of time, but thank you.
Thank you. And it's got blue in it. I was being bold and audacious.
Yes. Welcome to the show. She says, Madam Butterfly in the house. Yes.
Thank
love
you.
to see you. Thanks for being here. This is a new name. I've never seen this name before.
This is Chris, and I invited Chris to join us. So welcome, Chris. Thank you for joining and hopping in today. Make sure you come in and join us with some more comments. We love to hear from you.
Is the last name pronounced Peña? Is that how you say your last name? All right. Welcome. Thanks so much for being here. New York isn't audacious. No, it really is. To be from New York makes you audacious automatically. We agree. Hey, Kay Monet. Glad to see you, beautiful. That is a fellow authoress. We love her. Y'all go check out her content on her YouTube, Kay Monet. She just dropped a new video and it is hilarious. It's funny and encouraging, but I was laughing a lot. All right, Chris says BX all day facts. No, I would never lie about the boroughs. Okay, I would never lie about any of the boroughs. This is another new name. Hi, Grateful. Is it Grateful Rach? Is that
Grateful Rock? And this is another person who I've invited. Hey, thank you for joining.
Welcome. And she says triggers are real. Facts. Triggers are definitely real. Emotional triggers. Okay, she corrected that. But we got what you meant. We knew what you meant. Madam Butterfly says it was her tone. She gave several warnings. The reporter did not read the room and she was very antagonistic. It still doesn't make it right. We have to find better ways to handle conflict. Absolutely. And we're going to talk a little bit about that later, Taisha. So that's a great point. We're definitely going to talk about that later. Oh, thank you. Right back at you. Look, I'm not good at doing the hard thing, but okay. Right back at you.
My daughters are teaching me this one.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate
and I love the fact that when you're in Zoom on an Apple product, like you do the thumbs up, it'll do the thumbs up or a celebration. Yeah.
Exactly. Hi, Ivory. Thanks for joining. Hello, fellow Diamond and Grateful Raw. That's it right that time, Raw.
Yep.
He's saying, yes, hi, ladies. It's such a pleasure to have all of you with us. Thank y'all. Make sure that y'all share this live, invite people here, and continue to engage in the comments. If you don't mind, we would love it if you would drop some thumbs up and some hearts. There's something about those reactions that trigger algorithms where we can invite more people to witness this podcast. So thank you again for being with us. So one of the comments I wanted to say before we moved on about the first part of her reckless audacity, well, both of their reckless audacity. I think we live in a time where we are already operating at high temperatures. Like we are already coming out the house hot because we've had a stressful, beginning of our day, whether it was the kids, the husband, the dog, something said on the morning show or the Breakfast Club we just didn't like, it triggered us. So we're already coming out the house on 10. And a lot of us don't have a lot of room for things like that, for I would say for interactions like that. We don't have a lot of space for that. And so I think someone said in the comments, it's important that we read the energy in the room. Pay attention to who you're interacting with, because I'm not saying it's ever okay for someone to put their hands on you or for you to put your hands on some people, but not everyone has that emotional intelligence and not everyone has that self-control. And to a lot of us, or some of us, I don't even want to claim a lot, but some of us, that's normal life. In my household growing up, I grew up with multiple brothers and sisters. You didn't like something, you punched them in the face until you was happy with the result. If I wanted the remote from one of my siblings, I'm knocking you until I get it from you. That, unfortunately, that was my upbringing and that was normal to me. It wasn't until I got around other people outside of my household where they interacted and they disagreed and ain't nobody throw hands that I was like, oh, so y'all not gonna fight? I remember my first sleepover, two sisters were arguing. They were twin sisters at that. And they were going back and forth, just words. And I'm like, oh my God, Trina would have been punched me by now. Like, Y'all are just using your words. This is amazing. How did you do this? Where did you study this? Who taught you how to do this? Because again, in my household, you just punch them. You just hit them, you throw something at them. And so again, when you consider that we're not all raised the same, we don't all come from the same household or background, it's important that you use your emotional intelligence and say, yeah, her body language is telling me she is not happy. So I'm going to end the discussion. I'm going to end the interview. I'm going to thank her for her contribution and let her move on. But instead, you tried to be cute and you pulled the mic back and then you put it in her face again. Your energy, you was matching her energy instead of being the thermometer. And so hopefully, you know, she accepts her apology. And I really hope that that young lady gets some anger management, because we live in a world where people are going to piss you off. I'm pissed off. No politics tonight. Never mind. But yeah, so that's all I wanted to add to that before we moved on.
That part. And one of the things that I think needs to happen as part of the work that I do, one of the things we focus on is restorative justice. And that's where you bring the victim and the assailant together to speak on how we ended up here, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to say that I think for the young lady who did the punching, that would work, right? Because I don't think it was ever her intention. She did not wake up and was like, hopped on the 2 train and then decided to go punch somebody in the face. No. Again, like, there are circumstances and things that are going on, and she might listen. If you from New York, how many times somebody been like, excuse me, and try to put a paper in your hand, ask you a question, would you like to take a survey? Like, all these things here, we ain't got time for this. Like, this is New York, we always on the go, right? So for her to have stopped to do the interview and then to think that whatever it was, like, hey, somebody wants to hear what it is that I have to say, and I'm taking the time out to share what it is that I have to say, and then to be like verbally jumped, verbally two-pieced on what it was that you're saying, it's probably what took her there. And as you pointed out, it's the emotional intelligence that some people have where it's like, yeah, this conversation is no longer for me. I'm repeating myself over and over again. The person is not even listening to what it is that I'm saying. As a matter of fact, they're mixing and chopping my words up so that it fits the agenda and the story that it is that they're trying to tell. Because this reporter was not coming from a neutral place. This reporter was coming from a particular place with a particular viewpoint, and her mission was to either do what she did, which is antagonize somebody with a complete polar opposite opinion, or go on, you know, a bandwagon with somebody who agreed with her. So
that part.
In the essence of restorative justice, yes, the young lady who did the punching, she could definitely benefit from restorative justice. I don't think the reporter would want that, because she wasn't about having restoration or any type of compromise in the conversation. She just wanted to do what we had to do. But that's, I think we spent a lot of time on this conversation. It was interesting. It's definitely been water cooler talk around here. And on the internets, the people from New York said she effed around and found out. So leave people alone.
we just different. They talk about Atlanta's not a real place. New York is not a real place. At least the boroughs. The 5 boroughs are not real. Like,
I've been living in the Bronx for the last year and a half. The Bronx is not a real place. I grew up in Brooklyn during the crack epidemic, and I done seen the scenes that I seen up here that I ain't never seen before. I'm like, no, really? Like, okay. But hey, you know, people love it, and they go hard for their borough, and it's a beautiful borough. It's got a great culture, great history, all these things to it. But
it's different. It's definitely different.
Robert Moses and them ruined the Bronx, or did what they did to the Bronx, and these are just the residual effects of it. But again, we're not talking politics tonight.
Not at all. Because I got a lot to say. Okay, we need to have an audacious political conversation. We need to add that to this month's agenda, because I have so much I want to say. But we're going to move on, and we are going to talk about, dang it, I didn't pull up the article. Give me a second. Tiff, you fill in for me while I pull up this article. Are we
talking about the basketball player?
Yes, that's next. That's what we discussing. His reckless and her reckless audacity. Yes, that's what we're going to talk about.
Since it ties into and is a perfect segue to a conversation on abortion and right to life, there is a basketball player who
Anthony Edwards.
I wasn't going to say his name. Anthony Edwards has had 4 children in less than 2 years. A baby born in March of 2023, a baby born in September 2023, a baby born in October 2023, and then a baby born in October 2024. He is only 23 years old. And recently, he paid child support for one of them children until the child is, I think, 18 years old up front, and was like, and lose my number.
But here's some backstory for those who don't know, because again, y'all know I ain't really plugged into social media. So when this was brought to me, someone shared it with me. I had to research and like read and understand the backstory. Apparently, he had dealt with this young lady. I don't even think they were dating. He dealt with the girl. He was very upfront about his other children being recently born and him not wanting any more children right now. Him wanting to focus on his basketball career. I believe he plays for the Timberwolves or something. And she got pregnant. But I want to just pause right there. When you have sex without protection, okay? Let's just insert this real quick bio conversation. When egg and sperm meet, sorry, people. That it's inevitable. That's what happens. Okay. So you didn't protect yourself. And again, I don't know for sure, but I'm just assuming and connecting dots that if the girl got pregnant, clearly protection was not in the equation of okay. So she gets pregnant. She apparently comes to him. I'm pregnant. He hands her $100,000, I believe it was, to get an abortion or to terminate the pregnancy. Excuse me. I don't want YouTube to throw this episode off. Sorry.
We like release. To release the pregnancy.
To release the pregnancy. Excuse me. She chose to release the pregnancy, asked him for $100,000. He paid it. The release never happened. Fast forward, she has this baby. He wants nothing to do with her or the child. And instead of being a participant in the child's life and a parent, a co-parent, he decided to pay the child support up front, which they said was, when you calculate it, was over $1 million. He gave it to her all until the child's 18. Thank you for your time. Go, Cuzzo, on their reckless audacity, because I have so much to say on this.
Okay, here it goes, right? The reckless audacity started when the two of them was fooling around and birth control was not part of the conversation.
No type of contraception. Okay, go ahead. No contraceptive. Okay, go ahead.
We're gonna play devil's advocate here, and we're gonna say maybe there was, and things failed, right? And there are alternative options, right? You know, plan B's and things, right?
And the things in, yeah,
right. Now, if the story is coming through correctly, right? When she discovered she was with child and went to him and said, I am with child. I am with child. It's a line from Titanic.
I was gonna say, you don't know exactly.
that she was with child, and he was like, yo, shorty, we talked about this, because right. I'm in my head, that's how he said it. He was like, nah, shorty, we talked about this, right? If she said, you give me $100,000 and I will release, and then didn't, yeah, man, I think you got to eat that one, because back to business 101. There was an offer, there was a consideration, and an acceptance of a contract.
That's a contract. Exactly. Mutual acceptance. Exactly.
And so then she didn't, right? So he's right. Like, I bet that's how you want to play it. Here you go. I'm done. I don't like how it went down, but I get it.
Yeah.
And come 18 or however old the child is, if they choose to seek him out and get answers and ask questions and things or whatever, there's a whole, another 5-part series we could do on that type of thing when children seek out parents who abandon them.
Right.
But nah, I just feel like she played a game and got played.
Yes. Okay.
I think
So
she
y'all,
failed too.
okay, so y'all gonna have to bear with me because y'all know I like to break things down based on sides, right? I always look at everybody's side. Now, I am an advocate for men. Y'all know how I feel about Black men. I'm always championing them because I feel like society does not do a good job of supporting Black men the way they do Black women, right? So I'm gonna start with that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to first address the fact that, yes, they are both grown adults, because I know there is always somebody out there defending bad behavior and defending reckless audacity by saying, well, they grown, they can do what they want to do. You're absolutely right. They are grown and they can do what they want to do. However, when you are living a public life, you are going to have to deal with public opinions, okay? And so we get to say what we want to say here on the Hustle and Shine podcast. So apparently the young lady, since I said his name, her name is Aisha Howard. And apparently, or allegedly, he paid 1.8 million upfront child support. She's saying that that's not true. She's refuting that. She's arguing that that's a lie. That's not what happened. She took live to Instagram. I couldn't find the live to watch it. But nevertheless, apparently she's saying none of this is true, that this is, media running with a story that's incomplete. However, what I will say about his behavior, you have proven in the last 2 years that you are irresponsible. Now, he very well could have the Nick Cannon complex. I don't know, right? Nick Cannon is just out here trying to he making babies, right? He building legacy through all of these babies, okay? I don't know if that's what this young man is doing. But nevertheless, whatever you're doing, there is a third person involved that did not ask to be involved. And that is my beef with him. I really don't care if you don't care for the mom. Clearly, there was something about her body, her face, her personality, what the mouth do. I don't know. Something about her at some point, you was feeling it. And you engaged with this woman physically. And so now that the result of your actions has manifested, you are choosing to opt out. Or what did they say? What did my uncle say? What did Uncle Shay say? He said, you are buying your way out of this. And to me, that's really unfair to the child, because the child did not ask for this situation, nor does this beautiful little girl deserve her parents to be at odds the way that they are. And for you to write a check, you are literally saying that that is the price of her life, that your baby girl is worth $1.8 million. That's all she means to you. You probably are going to pay more than that in taxes next year or this year. And so that's really unfair to that little girl. To the mom, I am not one to judge women based on their images or photos or interviews or anything, because I don't know this young lady. I have outgrown the urge to judge her based on the way she looks. A lot of people are saying she's a gold digger. A lot of people saying she had an agenda, that she's a lot older than him, so she knew what she was doing. Whatever her motives were, same goes for her. You have now pulled an innocent child into a situation that she does not deserve to be in. And so you need to take the money, and then you need to make better choices moving forward, because you are raising a little girl, which means she's going to watch and do what you do, not what you say do. And so if every time you don't get your way, these are the things that you do, you manipulate men and you try to finesse men the way you're doing, that's why generational patterns happen. Because we watch the people who are wounded by the same pattern repeat it. And that is literally what you're going to expose her to. Your pattern of brokenness. Clearly, there is something in you that needs to be fixed, and it's not going to be done with a check. And so what bothers me most, I shared all that to say, what bothers me most is neither of them have considered the child. Again, I've only seen her posts. I've not seen her lives, but she not once talked about her daughter. It's me, what I want, me, everything's about her. And his interviews are no different. His comments, rather, because he refuses to do an interview, but his comments have been no different. My life, what I want, my choices. Not one of them has said, I'm sorry that this happened. My baby's here now. Our baby is here now. And these probably weren't the best choices for us to make. Neither of them have said that. So they both have growing up to do, because she might be almost 40 years old, but mentally she's clearly still in her 20s, and so is he. And so that's all I'm going to say before y'all come in at me. Now that I'm back on social media, y'all might be in my inbox. You judging people. I ain't judging nobody. You'll know them by their fruit. They fruit look a little bit stank. Okay. They fruit don't look good. That's all I'm saying. All right, go ahead, Phoenix. I'm done. That's all I wanted to say.
So it says he's only 23 years old. And I use the word only because my baby today turned 23 years old, and she's still my baby, right? So here's what I got to say about that, though, right? At 23, a male, he has a lot of say-so and autonomy over his body. And my guy, there's a quick way to make sure that you ain't got no more situations and incidences.
That part.
Yours is less invasive and
to be
reversible.
Yeah.
If and when you ever decide to just have it done. So yeah, a quick little snip, click, click, and some ice, and you'll be all right. And then you get to keep your money.
Exactly. And so I just, like you said, I hope that, you know what I realize he needs around him. And again, I'm not assuming he doesn't have it. That's what I was going to say. He needs an uncle type of father figure. I don't even know if his dad's involved. I don't know. I don't want to speculate, but a lot of this is not known to the public. But I would love for him to have like a uncle type of person in his life that'll say, hey, it's not that baby's fault. You can have a relationship with your daughter and never have to deal with her mama. You can ask for people to proxy, to come in between, to be the one to pick the baby up and bring her to you. There are things that can be done, but your absence is not the answer. I know a lot of men do find it easier because let's just keep it real, ladies. We are difficult. I don't care if you offended y'all. You're difficult. I almost wanted to grab my mic. Some of y'all are freaking annoying. I would never want to have a baby with you. Some of y'all are awful to co-parent with, okay? Like, let's just keep it a stat. Some of you make it so unbearable for a man to be in his child's life. You are nasty, you are bitter, you won't address your brokenness, and you use that child as a pawn to get what you want, not concerned about the child. So I can understand his desire to be completely done with the mother, but you should not dismiss the opportunity to father that child. That is my humble opinion. I know what it's like to be in a co-parent relationship that doesn't feel good. I didn't always get along with my ex-husband following our divorce. We were both bitter. We were both broken. We were both immature and selfish. And I acknowledge that. And even in that, I still didn't put him through what some of these women put these men through. I was a little bit difficult, but I ain't never keep my child from him. I ain't never make him pay me child support, nothing like that. I just wasn't nice when we were around each other. You was getting words from me. And that still was difficult for him. So can you imagine what some of these other women put these men through when it comes to these kids? So again, I get why he probably said, I'm out, I'm opting out, because she's already difficult. She's already a liar. She already finessed me out of $100,000 and didn't do what she said she was going to do. She clearly can't be trusted. She's not a woman of her word. She doesn't have integrity. All of that's true. She's proven that in her actions. But that baby did nothing wrong. And so I just hope that he gets an unk type of leader in his life that says, look, little bro, I know she a pain, but that baby deserves your presence. That baby deserves your effort, because she is going to grow up one day and ask herself, what did I do? That's something I want a lot of you fathers and mothers to consider. The child always says, what did I do? My baby is 8 years old. Her father is in and out when he feel like it. If it's convenient, if it's a good photo op, he's involved. But she always asks me, Mommy, what did I do wrong that my dad doesn't want to be in my life? And that baby's going to ask the same question because you are popular. You are a damn celebrity. You are a professional athlete. So she's going to ask, well, what did I do that daddy doesn't want to have a relationship with me, especially if she has to see pictures of you with your other kids. So please just consider that. I know he probably ain't going to never see this, but still, I'm going to say it anyway. Just consider that baby. That's it. And I really hope that the mother gets some help, because clearly, okay, never mind. Go ahead. I ain't going to judge her because I'm sick of people.
I mean, plain and simple, to the answer to that question is exist. But existing wasn't my fault or my doing. And I say my because I speak from the first person based on my own life experiences and choices. So yes, a child will always, like, no matter what happens in a relationship with the parents, children automatically revert to something of like, if I had been a good kid, if I had been better in school, if I had done these things, mommy and daddy wouldn't have fought, or it would have made their lives easier. And
Right.
so we take on this self blame
Yep.
on our own. Nobody really gives it to us. We kind of just pick it up and we cuddle and nurture it throughout our whole lives. This brokenness of abandonment. And you're absolutely right in saying, like, this kid is gonna wake, this little girl is gonna wake up one day and she's gonna be like, what did I do? And here's what I have to say in general about any celebrity, influencer, somebody of popular measure, whatever, when it comes down to their children. I hear just like what regular people say about regular people, right? Like, you hear the aunties and the uncles, you hear them talk about people and all that other stuff. Imagine growing up and the whole damn world is talking about you. The whole damn, like, if we're gonna talk about people who are living audaciously reckless, we can talk about Kanye.
Do we have to? Oh God.
I'm just saying, if you were to look up reckless audacity, it should be a picture of Ye standing there in full regalia. But it's always the children that I think about. The parents signed up to be in the forefront, on your timelines, on the media, all these things here. The kids didn't. And then when they start doing it, it's because this is the norm that they know.
Yeah.
And so you begin to raise a second generation of audacious recklessness. Like, I'm a date myself when we had Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie running around with their
back in the day.
They're not parents now.
Yeah.
And their kids can go and Google the nonsense they were doing.
Yep. True story.
Gotta just be careful out there. That's all I'm saying. There's always a consequence that you will have to face. And whether it is you facing it yourself as the person with the audacity, or it is your children or someone in your family who then has to, pay for the sins of the mother and father.
Yep. Exactly. Well, we hope that they both have the audacity to see themselves, to look in the mirror, to, hold themselves accountable, hold each other accountable, and really consider that little girl deserves effort from both parents. Because even with her mother being present, I'm like, girl, how much better are you going to do, even though you're there? Like, because your behavior, you need to do better. That's all I'm going to say.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Did he give her the money up front, or did he put it in trust? Because, Lord, that's another set of questions and another set of problems. Because if it's not in trust.
But she's saying it didn't happen. She's saying it's not true. So we'll come back to y'all. Y'all can check back with us and we'll give you an update. We've been following the story intentionally just so that we could, speak about it intelligently and really have some facts to present. But apparently she's saying that never happened. So I think we have time for one more. Did you have another one? Because I dang sure got one that I can share.
No, it's all yours.
Girl, we're going to talk about the reckless audacity of a 350-pound teacher had the nerve to step on a student during a lockdown drill. Oh, Jesus. What the hell is wrong with people? So again, someone shared the story with me. I don't scroll enough to catch all of this, but someone shared this with me. So I'm only going off of what I read in the New York Post. It said 350-pound teacher arrested for using student as a stepping stool, leaving injured child walking around like an 80-year-old. This is what the cop says to the reporters. Apparently, this happened in Minnesota, and he's been charged after using a 6th grade student as a stepping stool during a school safety drill. Jason Rogers, what the hell is wrong with you? What is wrong with? Okay, so I just need a minute, y'all.
I was laughing, well, or giggling, because in my head I'm envisioning this as some type of parody, something that was written for a comedy movie starring, the crew from Saturday Night Live or something like that, because there's no way that a teacher, period, regardless of weighing 95 pounds or 350 pounds, used a student as a stepping stool.
And did. Mm-hmm. 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 In real life. This happened in real life. Real life happened. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah.
I'm stuck on stupid. I'm lost for words. What was his name? Say his name again.
Jason Rogers of
Jason
Minnesota.
Rogers, please report to the front of the classroom.
Please come here.
And this was just a drill. So this wasn't even really a matter of real
life and death. No, it was not.
This was only a test of the emergency broadcast system. So
yeah.
Why?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm. So the mother did an interview and she said that her son is badly injured and he has a lot of back pain and he's walking, he cannot like sit up straight or stand up straight because of the pressure that the man, thank God he didn't break his spine or crack his spine or anything crazy or break his back. But what are you thinking though? Like what are you thinking? And sometimes it's hard for me to fathom the mentality of people because thankfully I still have my right mind. I thank God that I have not been given over to a depraved mind, as the word says. I thank God that I still think clearly and think for myself. I still use, common sense. I still deploy cognitive skills that tell me you probably don't want to step on a child. And he has yet to respond or they have not been able to interview him, at least not that I've seen when I checked earlier today. But I would love to understand the whole story. Did the young boy fall? Did he put himself in front of you? What did he do that he ended up under your foot? Did you throw him to the ground? Was everybody rushing out at once? Like what was taking place that this baby fell up under your feet, under your 350-pound body feet? Like I want to know why you then proceeded with the step and go. Like if I feel something under my feet, I'm going to pull my foot back and look down. You clearly just didn't care because you kept going. Jason. So yeah. I have a sarcastic tone because y'all know I have been trying hard not to use profanity and colorful language. I'm trying to please the Lord in my speech, not just in my habits. And so I'm really trying hard not to say things I want to say. But what? Y'all drop it in the comments for me. Those who work in education, do students get on y'all nerves that much? Because I know Amaya be working my nerves, but I wouldn't step on her. Okay. I just don't know.
I really don't have anything to say. Who would have thought that's what it takes to get me to be stuck and speechless is a grown man stepping on a child. I always want to know what happened before, right? I know you've been off of social media for a while and you're just trickling back in, but you see the viral videos and the moments and everything like that when somebody is in their roars. There was always something happened just before somebody clicked record. Right. And I always want to know what that moment in time was.
Yeah.
In the hopes that maybe it'll make whatever I'm watching make sense. And so, yes, I'm with you right now. Like, what was it that transpired in that school building that prior to this drill happened that in the course of something that happens every day in schools, a child was severely injured?
Yeah. But shout out to my friend who just sent me the thing. Thanks for watching. First of all, I love that you're here. But just sent me the rest of the article. It says that Jason Rogers, 48, confessed to standing on the boy's back after the student opted to lie on his stomach instead of sitting down during the drill at the Underwood school. This happened last month. But for whatever reason, we're just getting reported on it 2 days ago, I guess, because he's been arrested since. But that still is not enough context for you to justify standing on a child. It didn't even say stepping on. It said you stood on him.
Right. See, now that just put everything into context for me. And now I'm ready to take off my earrings and tie up my braids. Because how old was the child? Or what grade does it say the child was
grader.
in?
Sixth grader.
A sixth grader.
How old is that? Like 11?
Okay. Like 11, 12. I got one of those. He's actually in the 7th grade right now. I got one of those. They are obnoxious as F. Okay. They are annoying. And my particular one, when you tell him up, he says down. You tell him left, he goes right. And so at this point in time, maybe Mr. 350 pounds has had several rounds of interactions and altercations with this child, to which at this point in time, okay, in the safety drill, I'm almost in tears over this situation because my little grandson is 6 years old, and he explained to me what he does when his school does, he calls them a bad guy drill, and how the kids have to go sit in corners and how they hide and do all of these things. So yeah, there is this point in time in which the kids need to sit still, be quiet, do all of these things here. And this child is probably not. He's probably doing whatever it is he does every day, which is ignore Mr. whatever it is. And so since you want to lay down on the floor, watch this. That's what just happened in my head. That's what I just saw in my head. And in that case, I'm a work in progress, but right now I'm tying up my braids, I'm taking my earrings off, and I'm gonna see him in the parking lot.
No, seriously. So, you know, the thing I want to say about his reckless audacity is, one, abuse of power. I don't know who told you that
you could put anything on a child.
Exactly. I don't know who told you that you needed to take such severe disciplinary action. I don't know who told you that was a good decision. I don't know. I don't even know if the little boy voluntarily laid down, but at no point should your body or your foot or any part of you landed on him or touched him. Like, that is the part that I am not understanding. And so now we don't even know how severe the injuries are to this young man. We don't know if they're going to be long-term, if they're permanent. We have no clue. Again, the reports are still coming out, but he's definitely injured. They say he screamed out in pain of this man stepping on him and standing on him. They said he stood on him for about 10 seconds, 350 pounds. I don't know if y'all are considering what that weight feels like. I can't even lift that much at the gym on my legs. And I got some thick thighs over here. It's too much. It's just way too much. And so the audacity of him to believe that was appropriate in any way to do, even if the student was on his last nerve, you send him out, you do something else. You do not physically place yourself on a child. But this goes to show you the world is literally losing its mind. And that's a topic for another day, because there's so much I can say on that. But this is reckless. This is absolute reckless behavior. It is audacity in the worst way. It is against everything we stand for in our audacious living, and shame on him. And I'm glad that he's been arrested. I really do hope that this is an example for other teachers who think that it's okay to take discipline in their own hands and do it their own way and create new ways of getting these students to do what they want them to do. I know students are difficult. Mine is difficult. I know she is. I know my child difficult because she's difficult at home. So I'm not one of those parents that's like, no, not my baby. No, I know my child could be a bit much to the teacher. But that's why you partner with the educator. That's why you partner with the parent. You do not do stupid stuff like this. So this is dumb. We need to take this off the reckless audacity and put this on the dumb as hell list. This is dumb. This is really stupid, and shame on him. And for those of you who did not see Charlamagne's rant, it's hilarious. Go watch it. Charlemagne made
I
him
was
donkey
gonna
of the
ask,
day.
did he make donkey of the day?
He made donkey of the day, and Charlemagne held no punches. He held no cut cards. He let this man have it. And although it was a bit extreme and very attacking on him as a person, listen, it was necessary. So yeah, so we are almost at the hour, cuz we gotta give them a gem and get out the way. We have some other announcements for them. I know
Yes,
you
we
want to
do.
share some things.
Yes. So coming up once again, if you've been following us, book number 5, Audacity, is coming out on April 29th. And all of the podcast episodes this month are dedicated to living life audaciously.
Mm-hmm.
In 2 weeks, on April 23rd, we are going to do an episode titled Living Audaciously. And we are looking for your stories. How are you living your audacious life, right? What's the most audacious thing you've done? What's something you've done where somebody was like, and they had the audacity to, right? But we want those high vibrational stories, right? We want those stories that shine light positively on living an audacious life. So you can go to diamondwriters.com. Where is it at? Bam, right there. You can go to diamondwriters.com. There's a link there that says be on the Hustle and Shine podcast or something of that nature. I don't know. Mel is the one who normally does this engineering stuff, but there's something there, right? You can email your story there, or following either myself, Natima, or the MV Pen, you can DM us directly your story. We would love to share your stories about how you are choosing to live your most audacious life. All right. So please get those into us no later than April 19th, 20th for the show that will air on April 23rd.
Exactly. And as the Phoenix just said, on April 29th, that is a Tuesday, we are dropping our 5th anthology called Audacity, Living Life in Color. Please make sure that you go and grab a copy. You can go directly to a Diamond, or you can go to transparentgeminc.com or diamondwriters.com and order your copy. It'll also be available on Amazon, but I think we may be protesting them soon. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to treat them like we're treating Walmart this week or not. So we may have to get back to you on that. But for now, you can go to diamondwriters.com or transparentgeminc.com or hit up any of these lovely diamonds that are a part of this collective. I know y'all see their posts. You can go ahead and get your copy for them. And on May 4th, we don't have the flyer up just yet, but on Sunday, May the 4th, we will be having our virtual release. We'll be celebrating the contributions of these beautiful writers and now published authors. At 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. live right here on this same platform. You can find us on Sunday, May the 4th, where we'll be celebrating the release of Audacity. So make sure you tune back in. You can also register on our diamondwriters.com website under events so that you have a reminder to join us on May the 4th. Kazo, what are some other announcements that we have? Are we forgetting anything before we drop a gem?
No. I believe the last thing we need to share is that we are still accepting nominations for Diamonds en Blanc. Again, all of this information is on the Diamond Writers website. You can go there. There are 9 categories that you can either nominate someone or yourself for if you believe that you match the qualities or they match the qualities and descriptions that are there. The Diamond Writers will be in New York City in September to not only celebrate the release of Audacity, but to host our Diamonds en Blanc award ceremony. And you ain't hear from me, but maybe have a Hustle and Shine podcast live.
Maybe so.
Maybe. But you got to be in there. You got to follow us to know what's going on. So make sure you're doing all the things that you need to do. So I think that's it for the announcements.
All right, then. I was just going to say, let's go ahead and drop a gem. Wait, wrong one. This is why we need Mel, I swear. All right, Cuzzo, what is your gem for the night?
All right. I said, it's okay to be bold, to be outrageous, and to live in your audacity. But remember, your actions have impact. So just make sure they're positive ones.
That's so good. Ooh, I love that. I love that. So I don't have one tonight. I did not prepare a gym tonight. I shared with you what my evening and my day looked like. So I was literally running to get on the show with wet hair. But you know what? If I did want to leave something with you, I just wanted you to consider your triggers, figure out what they are. Spend time with yourself, do some introspection and some shadow work. I know that those words are no longer trending, but the work still works if you work it. Okay. I know that we left that in 2024 and 2023. We kind of over the shadow work and the introspection, but it actually still is very relevant because many of us are still wounded and many of us are still hurting and broken. And so identify your triggers so that when you recognize someone who's poking at them or pushing that button, you know to walk away so that you don't make a decision that you'll regret and have to apologize for. So that is what I want to leave you with. That is something I'm doing on a regular basis, working on myself, because that kind of work is a continuum that doesn't end. We don't arrive at healing. It's something that we have to do daily. So I invite you to do that. We love doing that here at the Diamond. So if you need a support system, we are here. We love helping people to heal. So that's all we have for tonight. Of course, we appreciate you being here with us tonight. Thank you so much for investing your time in this podcast and in this platform. We invite you to come back next Wednesday. We got a whole nother audacious topic for you. And the Phoenix will be here. I will be here. And hopefully the MV Pen will be here. But if she does not, y'all continue to show her some love and send her some prayers as she's taking a much deserved mental health break and self-care break. So until next week, until next time, y'all know what to do. Continue to hustle
and shine.
shine.
Let's go. Let's go.